Hello everyone, this is Warrior Woman 91, your favorite conservative. Yes, we all know it's true. Today we're going to be talking about the Fast and Furious timeline. Now, in order to understand about Fast and Furious, we have to go back to the Bush administration and his 2007 program called Operation Wide Receiver. Now, what was Operation Wide Receiver? Well, it was a plan to run guns to drug cartels with tracking devices inside them, so that when the guns got to the big, leaders of the drug cartels, they could trace them and catch them before anything bad happened. Well, the operation failed largely because the tracking devices were not very well placed inside the guns. Their antenna got smashed, and also many of the tracking devices were found by the gun users and dismembered and taken away from the guns. So that operation was dismantled in 2007. Now, we move on to Operation Fast and Furious in the Obama administration, a full 2 years after Operation Wide Receiver ended. So Bush had nothing to do with it, okay? So, Operation Fast and Furious mirrored the program Operation Wide Receiver. What they did was they were going to give guns to drug cartels. However, they did not make any effort to trace or track them. And their purpose was not to catch drug lords or leaders of the drug cartels or whomever. Their purpose was to create national outrage against the violence that would occur due to the drug cartels having all these guns. Now, Eric Holder, the Attorney General of the United States at the time, and still is, unfortunately, Eric Holder said that only 300 guns were driven over the border and given to these drug cartels. Actually, 2,000 guns went over. So massive violence ensued, 2 humongous massacres of Mexican citizens, and also this resulted in the deaths of 2 Border Patrol agents of the United States. And the result was public outrage against this. However, not in the way that the Obama administration desired. They did not call for more gun control. They called for less and more gun ownership. So the Obama administration's plan to institute more gun control ultimately failed. Now we move forward to Newtown, Connecticut. A horrendous school shooting of innocent children. And what happened? The Obama administration capitalized on the outrage that ensued following that and attempted again, this is in 2012, fast forward, attempted again to institute more gun control laws. Now, the Obama administration had a couple of purposes behind the 2012-2013 push for more gun control. The first purpose, of course, was to push his agenda for bigger government. So if the gun control legislation passed, then there's a plus right there. He's got more gun control, bigger government. He's pushing his agenda further. But the second thing is slightly more devious, is if the gun control did not pass, which was not likely to, it was likely to pass the Senate, because the Senate is controlled by Democrats, but it was not likely to pass the House, as it is controlled by Republicans. So it was intended that if it was to die, which it was likely to, if it was to die, it would die in the House so that Obama could use it against the Republicans in the 2014 election. He could say this was a bipartisan legislation that passed the House with flying colors, and these Republicans just can't do anything, and they can't work with us, so you guys should vote them out and give us more Democrats, right? Well, that backfired as well, as the gun control legislation didn't even pass the Senate. And so if you go back and watch the speech that Obama gave after the gun control did not pass, he was very, very angry. Anyway, this has been Warrior Woman 91 talking about the Fast and Furious timeline.